Kume229 here, and I passed 1,000 subscribers! I'm honestly still kind of in shock about that, because I honestly wasn't sure if I was ever going to reach this milestone. And not entirely sure what to do now.
I don't know. I never thought I'd get this far.
I probably should have made this video a lot sooner, but I kind of got swept up in the excitement of it and going, oh my gosh, I passed 1,000 subscribers. I got approved for monetization. I have memberships in the channel. I got those set up. You can check those out down below. I also set up a Patreon and a Subscribestar. If you're interested in supporting me like that, you can check that out below. I've never been great at chilling myself, but I am excited about getting that stuff done. It's really exciting to be at this point, especially after being on YouTube for so many years, because I've had my YouTube account since, I want to say, 2009. Now, granted, I've only been really regularly making content since around 2015 or so, but even then, that's still years I've been doing YouTube. Now, another reason why I was a little late on making a video talking about reaching 1,000 subscribers and thanking everyone who has subscribed to the channel, because I really could not have done this without y'all, is that I wasn't entirely sure what I wanted to say in it. And I decided, you know, I think what would be a good idea is to go over a bit of the history of my channel. I'm not going to be super long about it, but just talk a little bit about the journey to this point, and also give a bit of an update on what I'm doing with the channel, which I probably could have made this update like months ago, but I've never really done channel updates, so I'm not really used to making videos to talk about that, you know, stuff with the channel. But going back to the origin of the channel, this was back in high school, and it was, I think it was around 2009, which I've had this channel for like 13 years. Oh my gosh. So back then I made my YouTube channel, and it was literally just making a YouTube account. I didn't actually do anything until around 2010 or 2011. I don't remember the exact year, but I was with a roommate, and we had the idea to make a Code Geass abridged series. And because this was around the time when abridged series were the thing. Like, so many people were making them at the time. It wasn't just the big ones like Yu-Gi-Oh! The Abridged series or Dragon Ball Z Abridged. There were so many other ones. If you go, you can actually probably still find a lot of them on YouTube. Even the ones that you've probably never even heard of. Like, there was stuff like Naruto Abridged.
As I was saying, I am not David Bowie.
David Bowie will never understand the pain I feel inside.
And Avatar the Abridged series.
Boomy? What happened to you? Steroids and crack cocaine.
Which kind of died off, you know, relatively early on, and didn't last as long as the big ones. But we were going to make that, and we were really confident about this. Now, at the time, I didn't know anything about editing. I know how to edit now, but at the time, I didn't know how to do that at all. And my roommate was going to handle all the editing, because he's done that sort of stuff before. And I was actually in charge of doing the writing. Now, we both worked together to come up with like what we wanted to do for the story and what jokes we wanted to tell, you know, everything from individual gags to running jokes. And we had a lot of planning put into this before pen went to paper. And I actually did write out scripts for what would be done, including specific edits and changes and stuff that would be made for the different episodes. And I wrote out 7 of these scripts, and I was quite proud of them. I don't know how well they hold up now. Outside of these topical jokes that I remember making, because I remember I looked at it like a year or two after that, and then I was reading some of these jokes, and a lot of them I remember still laughing at, but then others were like, that was a very topical joke, and it is no longer funny. And that was when I learned my lesson on being careful with topical humor. But ultimately, obviously, that never really materialized. If you actually looked at my YouTube channel back then, and if you were on YouTube, you'll remember this. You could do more customizations with your YouTube background. And I know I had this picture of like Code Geass, and I'm pretty sure I actually wrote in like the description that this was going to be about like a Code Geass Abridged series. I was prepped to actually make it. Like I was really getting into it, and then it just never happened. Real life got in the way, and it's funny because nowadays I have the skills where I could make one of those, but their time in the sun has passed, unfortunately. So after that, I only made a few odds and ends videos. I had this 3-hour video. I think that's probably the first actual video on my channel. This is a 3-hour video of me and a friend ranting about how bad 007 Skyfall is. That movie is awful. So we were just like railing it for being absolutely awful. And that was so long ago. I do remember though that I had to put in some annotations, a few details. You remember annotations? Anyone who used YouTube a few years back and onward remembers annotations. Because before they had end screens and those little, I think they call them the cards or whatever in the corner, they had annotations. And what these were you could make a little shape, a square or a speech bubble or whatever, and you could type something in. So if I'm sitting here, you could put a little speech bubble that makes it look like I'm saying something, or you could just put a little block and just sort of write out something of, oh wait, no, correction on this, you know, stuff that you can put in, you know, after the fact. It was really helpful. You could also put links on them, and this was actually the only way to put links on a video back in the day. So, if you ever see, and you'll see this with a lot of like my older videos, which I probably look like an idiot now, especially if I'm pointing to something like, hey, check out the link here, or if you see this on any other video from that's older, hey, you know, check out, you know, right here, or something, and there's nothing there, that's because there was an annotation with a link. And there's a lot of times when you would see videos like that, because before we had end screens, because end screens are nice, if a little bit limited in some ways, they're very handy. But back then, you had to use an annotation. So there were a lot of times when people would put links at the end of a video, and they were done with annotations. Now, a few years back, YouTube got rid of annotations. It was stupid, but they got rid of them. They're like, well, no one's using them, so we're just going to get rid of them. And so for the people who did use them, we're like, wait, no! So any note that anyone had made for a correction in a video back then, it's all gone. Any links that you had posted, gone. And yeah, because YouTube consistently makes bad decisions. They just don't stop. But it was all because I also made a few videos around this time on like Shaolin Chronicles and Shaolin Showdown. I did those with Angel Ren, and oh gosh, Shaolin Chronicles is so bad. But I wasn't really doing YouTube regularly. I wasn't making a lot of serious videos. But it was around 2015 that I decided that I wanted to take YouTube a little bit more seriously. I wanted to put some effort into it. I wanted to try. So I started doing videos, and specifically what I wanted to do was these topic videos, which I do to this day. But back then, and this is the most embarrassing part, I didn't edit any of my videos. I didn't know how to edit back then at all. I didn't even have any editing software, well, aside from Windows Movie Maker, which, yeah, I actually did make a video or two in that. But when it came to making those topic videos, I had the idea that I would take topics that were submitted to me, and these would be used around like a lot of media stuff, especially in regards to writing and the like. And I would get them to submitted, and I would talk about those, and I would do those on a weekly basis. Now, I actually didn't intend for that to be a super long running series at first. My idea was at the time that I would start making these videos, and I would try to make these weekly. And I did. For several years, I did them, you know, week after week, and I would not edit them, except for a few, because over time I started editing a little bit more, but that wasn't what I did when I started. My idea behind this was going to be very low effort stuff that I would use to sort of get in the groove of making videos, and over time I would sort of abandon that and move on to making more significant videos. But I actually ended up enjoying doing topic videos. I liked doing it, so I would keep doing it more and more and more and more. But back then, and for a good while, when I made a video, my video making process, if you can call it a process at all, was to sit down in front of a camera. This camera that I'm using is the one I've been using since forever. I would turn it on, I would talk, I would say whatever it is, and then I would turn it off, and then I would upload the raw file, oftentimes right after I made it. Now, this is super easy, and it's really easy to just make these videos en masse. Which is why I would oftentimes even make a bunch of extra videos for like holiday stuff, and it was just like, looking back on it now, I'm so embarrassed I didn't edit those videos. Like, I know a lot of YouTubers have said this before, where they look back at stuff that they did years ago and they're embarrassed by it, but like, it's not like everything that I said, I don't remember every video I've ever done, but like, it's not exactly what I was saying in them. It's just the process that I didn't put any effort into them at all. And I think it's telling that I started getting more subscribers in the last, in recent times, because I actually have been putting more effort into my videos. But I find it so embarrassing because I actually decided to go back and look at some of my older videos, and oh my gosh, there were so many times when I'm just talking and I pause and I'm, thinking about stuff, or I go, or I'm like, hey, I need to look something up, and then I'm like, oh, let me go and look up my computer. And then I didn't cut any of that out. And it just, even getting interrupted, someone walking into the into frame, and I didn't cut it out. I'm like, nowadays that's like standard protocol for me. Like, I go through, and because that's the thing, is over the years I decided I wanted to do more editing, and once I got an actual editing software, which I got PowerDirector. It was PowerDirector 13 then, a few years ago, and that's what I used for a number of my videos. I started really trying to put more effort into a number of them, but not all of them, because really I couldn't make these weekly videos and edit all of them. So I would choose specific ones I wanted to edit. So me editing a video was, something more standout back then. It really shouldn't have been, but I was still figuring YouTube out. Like, I was still trying to do it, and a lot of times whenever I wanted to edit a video, it was because I really, really, really wanted to make a point about something, and I felt like just saying something wasn't really enough. So I decided to edit certain videos, and it took me a little while, and it would throw off my schedule for a little bit, but then I would get back to cranking out videos that were really easy to make. And looking back on that now, I can see a lot of mistakes I made, things I could have done better. Like, oh my gosh, there was, especially for a lot of the videos that had this fan background. Just a second, I actually have that fan. Okay, so this fan would be in the background, and it would be just chugging along and blowing air, and it was super loud. And I noticed that in a lot of my older videos, And the reason why I had that fan on was because for years I had this absolute misfortune of no matter how many, like several times when even moving, I would always end up in a room where the AC did not work. So this fan was the only thing keeping things remotely bearable, but it also was, you could hear this in the background. And whenever I was like editing, because I would have the sound like way down when I was editing, so I didn't really hear that as much. But if you turn up the audio on YouTube, you can hear it really loudly. It can get really distracting, and it's just like, oh. And I got to a point where there were times when I would actually just suffer to make a video without the sound of the fan in the background. And it would be swelteringly hot, and I'd be wearing my that jacket that I always wear in the topic videos, and I would turn off the fan, and I would just do it and hope that I didn't die of heat exhaustion. It was bad. I have AC now. Like, in the last couple of years, I have AC, so I don't need to worry about overheating during a video, because the AC in my room works. But that was a problem that I noticed looking back at a lot of those older videos. And I feel a lot better about making my videos now, and I guess it's something that it's a bit of a confidence boost of, oh, okay, so sure, I may not be as slick with my videos now, I may not have as nice of a camera as I probably really should, but I am so much better than I was a few years back, and it is kind of hilarious. Now, around this time, I was also sort of experimenting with different video types. Like, there was a time when I was making some videos sort of talking about things as they were happening, some, news announcements, and I never really enjoyed making those videos. And what ultimately got me to stop was, and I don't remember what news it was, but I saw this news on my phone, and I was at work at the time, and I was like, oh, this is actually something I really want to talk about. And when I got home and finally got a chance to get my camera out and record, I checked YouTube, and there were already like 30 other people who had already talked about it, and it was just like, well, I'm just talking about an announcement. I'm not even adding significant like commentary on it. Like, so what's the point? So I eventually just dropped that because I didn't enjoy it. I didn't feel like I was getting anything out of it. I stuck to, doing what I was normally doing. And there have been a few times when I've made other different types of videos. I actually really enjoyed making my video on the live-action Bleach movie, which that movie is abominable. It's an absolute garbage fest. And I made a video on that. And I made a few other odds and ends videos. And I've wanted to make more videos because even back since I started doing this, I've had a list of videos that I wanted to make, and I've been continually adding to this, over and over again, of all these bigger projects that I wanted to work on. But I really couldn't do that because I was making these topic of the week videos, and if I spent time editing even one of those, it would throw off my schedule, let alone talking about doing a significant project like retrospective videos on entire TV series that I watched years ago, and looking back at them and what they did right and what they did wrong and where they maybe fell off, and I just really couldn't spare much time to make most of those unless I cranked them out really fast, which for some of those, especially a retrospective series on shows that have like 5, 6, 7 seasons, I'd have to go back and rewatch the entire series to refresh myself, and then I could make my video. It just really wasn't practical. Now, getting closer to modern times in the last couple of years, people who've been subscribed to me for a couple of years would probably know that I haven't really been doing my topic of the week videos every week. And that was something that stressed me out for a while because I kind of prided myself on always making sure that I did videos for every week, even if I had to catch up on stuff. And then 2020 happened, and then things really kind of slowed down to a crawl. Real life stuff happened. The world went crazy in 2020. So I wasn't really making my videos as much as I really wanted to. And I would do some more editing in the ones I did do. And when it came to starting 2021, you'll see this in my first video of that year when I was really I was trying to say, all right, I'll get back on this, get back to making these videos before, like, the way I wanted to, and because I wanted to make videos by the week, but I also really did want to start doing more editing, and that was a big problem that I ran into, because taking the time to edit videos meant that doing videos on a weekly basis was kind of impractical, unless I just spent all of my free time just making videos and not spending time playing games or watching any shows or doing any other stuff. I just couldn't do it. Like, I have a full-time job. I've got other obligations in real life, so it's not like I can just spend every waking moment that I'm awake making videos. If I didn't have a job and all I was doing was YouTube, then yeah, I probably could, but that's not how things are. YouTube has always been a hobby of mine, and I tried to get back into making videos, and I did make more videos than I did in 2020, but I wasn't making them weekly. And near the end of 2021, in the last 4 or 5 months or so, I really decided, you know what? And I haven't talked about this on the channel. I talked about this with Angel in private, but I hadn't really talked about this. So it's probably a good time to talk about this in this video, that I've decided not to try to force myself to make videos on a weekly basis. If I need to take time to make a video, I'll take my time. Like with my Attack on Titan video. I've been working on that one for months. It will come out eventually, but I've been making other videos in the meantime. And I did a poll on my community page, which I also got a community page recently in the last year, which is fantastic. And I put out a poll on my community page where I asked people, do you want me to regularly put out videos consistently, or do you want me to take my time on a video if I need to? And they overwhelmingly voted for me to take my time, which is great, but I still want to provide some regular content. So if I can make videos on a weekly basis, then I will. But if I want to take time to work on something bigger, like my David Jaffe video, which took a couple of weeks to make, or my Attack on Titan video, I've got another one in the works talking about the third semester in Persona 5 Royal, I will take my time on those and not try to stress myself in order to fit a weekly release date. Now, I'm still calling them Topic of the Week videos because, well, branding, and I don't want to change it up because I like having this series, but yeah, that's a change I've made to my like work schedule, and really technically the topics are the topics of the week that I upload them, so it's not like I'm doing daily videos. But yeah, I guess I did really want to say that, because that is kind of important, that I feel like I communicate that, because yeah, I'm not making these weekly topic videos weekly, and if I can, then sure, by all means, I will try to put out a video a week, but I'm not going to run myself ragged, because there were times when I got just so insanely stressed. Like, I was stressing myself out so much on this, and it's not worth it. And I feel like taking the time and making sure that I'm doing even minimal editing for each video drastically improves the quality. Even if it's just cutting out the ums and the, oh, let me turn away and go off camera and actually like, it drastically improves the videos. So that gets us to to now when I've passed 1,000 subscribers, and I really want to say thank y'all. I've been taking YouTube more seriously recently in the last few years, and I am glad to see that my work has paid off, especially as I have been taking it even more seriously recently and trying to make better videos. I mean, stuff like my David Jaffe video or the one I just did on Assassin's Creed. I really like those videos. I actually feel really, really good about those videos. So I'm glad to see that they're well received, especially the David Jaffe one. There may be another video about David Jaffe in the future. But yeah, I wanted to make a video talking about this and just talking about it because I'm really excited that I've hit this, and I hope to grow the channel even more. So, yeah. Thank you for watching.